Next, we're going to move on to item number 7, which is comments from council members. This first one is from myself, and what it is it's I'm sure we read in the Daily Journal. The city of San Mateo had been looking into speed limits at schools, and Menlo Park has already done something. The county has some stipulations in certain areas. This is something that, as we all know, I mean, when we take our driver's tests and all that, alleys, are at 15, blind intersections, 100 feet are at 15, near railroad tracks, 100 feet are at 15, right? So those are already existing currently. And my belief is that for the public and private schools that we should, from K through 12, look into that. And there's new state law that's changed, and it's very clear of what is okay and what is not. And I think not only does it set, hopefully, in a community, if this were something that's plausible and the council supports, would have a consistency, right? I just know I'm near a school. It's not 25, it's 15. I know when St. Robert's came up, they have a crosswalk. And because the cars were right there at the crosswalk, child could not be seen as they came out into the street. So back then I had brought forward, and the council said, well, let's, during school terms, broaden that so that there is a broader space. I think, as we know, it doesn't take much time to have a tragic accident or incident occur. I know there is no state law as far as the senior center for it being other than 25, to my knowledge, or what I could find. However, I think once we're looking at one element, we have one senior center at a very busy intersection. I would just like to have that looked at simultaneously. Again, there may not be anything that can be done, but I think it's deserving for our youth and our mature population to at least look at possibilities of protecting and having consistency. So that's my thought and suggestion. And so I open it to my colleagues to see if there's any support. Vice Mayor.
There it is. Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I saw that newspaper article, and I've heard of the various complaints at our schools of the traffic concerns and observed them myself. So if we can look into that, would be great. And I look forward to hearing about that. So thank you for bringing this up.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Hamilton.
I am also supportive of this. I think it's a great idea for us to look into this and hopefully make some improvements around our schools and near the senior center. And I also thank you for bringing this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Mason.
Yeah, I think I'm glad you brought this forth. And I know we live right next to Parkside, and it is every morning getting out of our driveway is an interesting experience, and making sure our kids don't run in the street. I will say that at our elementary school, the liaison was there recently, and I think traffic definitely improved. So in speaking with the city manager after the article came out, I think that the city may already be working on this. And so if they are, just keep going. And if they're not, then I support starting it. But my understanding is that the city is already working on this with the police department, and will be reaching out to the school district. So thank you.
Councilmember Salazar.
I just wanted to add, I mean, I agree that lower speeds are definitely safer, but I think we also have a large issue with enforcement, and I don't know that lowering it necessarily makes it any more enforceable or increases our ability to enforce it. So, I think hand in hand with this, we do need to look at our ability to enforce even the existing limits in all of the areas. I mean, to be honest, when we have speeding everywhere, not just, I mean, I know it's especially dangerous near schools where kids tend to dart in and out of cars. But it's a problem everywhere. And I also wanted to make sure that, whatever process we follow here, we are following the established protocols and making sure that these items are vetted by engineering, and they find their way to the TSPC before going anywhere. So that's it for me.
absolutely would concur with those comments. And speaking to a council member from San Mateo on this topic, I think it is always the case, right, about the cars that speed everywhere, not just around our certain sites or U-turns, etc. So it is true when it comes to the enforcement. I know one of the city of San Mateo's relevance to go forward was, again, just trying to put that into people's minds that it's trying to get the mindset from a 25 to 15 and as just a factor of consistency and safety. So with that, I think that we have to go ahead in that. And so I appreciate that. I want to now ask for other council members that may have items that they or comments that they'd like to bring up tonight. If you could raise your hand, and we'll start with the Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two quick things. Tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m., Second Harvest will be providing groceries to those in need at 350 3rd Avenue. That's Bel Air. If anyone has any time to also volunteer, we look like we may be a little short. So if you have some time and you want to help your community, please show up at 1:30 and at Bel Air Elementary School. We normally get around 200 cars of people that are in need of groceries. The second thing is I wanted to also thank everyone involved with the community cleanup drop-off at the Church of Latter-day Saints this Saturday. I know some people were waiting a long time, but it was a lot of cars, set a record. And if I can take this time just to remind everyone, you can call Recology to get your free pickup at your door, at the curb, right? So make sure you get two free pickups a year. And I can tell you, it was amazing. I called and they picked up my water heater, my used up water heater. So be sure to do that, and you won't have to wait in line at any of our cleanups in the future. Thank you.
Any other comments from council members? I'm not seeing any other hands up. Okay. Before we adjourn this evening, I wanted to go ahead and adjourn in the memory of Sophia Melendez. And I think some of you may know the family and Alex, who is our former Park and Recreation Commissioner. She was 39 years old, way too young and passed, a graduate of Cappuccino and has lived most of her life in San Bruno. And she was the older sister to Alex and Vanessa. One thing that I think may run in the family is Sophia loved the San Bruno City Park just as much as you see Alex there all the time. Loved the Posey Parade, the Easter egg hunt, their recreational activities. And some side notes, she loved the creative writing, sushi, and of course being a mom. She's survived by her parents, her younger sister and brother, and her 4-year-old son. And this was an unfortunate when any tragedy like this happens. And so in memory of her, as well as all of our young adults, and maybe I'm just getting up in age, but to me, that's still very young. And so also, in addition, I want to adjourn in honor and in memory of all our young adults that have left us way too soon. So with that, let's adjourn in a moment of silence. Thank you, Council. Now we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting to the next regular City Council meeting, which will be held November the 9th at 7 p.m. Everyone enjoy the rest of your evening, your week, and have a safe and happy Halloween.